You can't be
Could be
serious,
40.
man. You cannot be serious.
Cannot be serious. This is a general chat about things that are giving us the brace and bits in the community.
Have we
First of
spoken
all,
to Sally Cap yet?
pardon?
Have we spoken to Sally Cap yet?
I presume we have. If her interview is on first, we have. If it's part two, then we haven't. But on the basis that we have spoken to her...
I hope you don't run for Lord Mayor. You've got no idea about local issues.
No. And you're not balanced either.
Well, I'm not worried about balance, but he doesn't know his product.
in what capacity?
Well, about the homeless and whatever else. It's got nothing to do with the council.
Don, for the people, the unwashed who listen to this, it was important to get the jurisdiction of what Sally Cap's office was responsible for. Does she have a chance?
Are you covering your ignorance now?
I asked her, what is the relationship between the Lord Mayor's office, the police, the state and the federal government? That's exactly why I asked her, Donald.
It's a very, very good question. It's a strong female presence today, isn't it?
It's extraordinary. Who else have we got here?
Don't you know? Haven't you met?
No, Mick, please, you look. What is wrong with you, man? For a man who's across the media, this is a segue into you introducing who is sitting next to you.
I'm sitting next to Elizabeth Sheahan. Same name.
And your daughter.
And my daughter.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Lizzie.
Hi, Dad.
What's been happening in your world? What do you think of...
Don't you two communicate if you've got to ask her
I
that?
wanted to ask Lizzie what she thought of Chris Judd or Rebecca Judd's party.
Did you go, Lizzie?
Did I go?
Yes.
No,
Well, how can you make a comment?
because it was all over social media with its own hashtag.
Oh, you've lost me. What's a hashtag?
What does that mean?
Well, it's basically the pound symbol, and you put
Yeah, I would.
what
It's a
you want to be
sign.
known as, and it's a way of searching up something on social media.
So what did Judd Chella mean? I was confused by that. What's that mean?
Well, it's a takeoff of Coachella, which is a music festival in the Californian desert. And
Right.
Rebecca Judd, went at the start of May this year with a group of other wags
to
and school
Coachella?
mums. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the one that bit the dust? That was a fraud? No.
No, it's a concert.
That
Hang
was
on.
something in the
Yeah, Bahamas or
Bahamas.
something. That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
They conned a whole lot of people to go to.
So
a
getting back to
huge
this,
rave
we're
party.
going everywhere again. Lizzie, so this was the theme of their party.
Yeah, so it was
is
a
this right?
housewarming party, but no one was allowed in the house. And so they had it on the tennis court, and it was based around the Californian music.
So they had rock bands or something?
No, they had a saxophone player. They had a
Where?
DJ on their tennis court.
Where?
Brighton.
Oh, Brighton. I thought
So Lizzie,
they went
tell me this.
overseas
I
for it.
heard this
No.
really bizarre rumour that breastfeeding mothers. Will I get into trouble for this?
Thicker
what are we
brains?
going? Where are we going with it?
No,
Got thicker brains.
No, no. We're expressing.
Yeah, she had a pump and dump area.
What do you? Excuse me. Are we still at the same party?
Yeah.
Pump and dump.
Pump
Is that,
means dump.
what I think it means?
Yeah.
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 What, rooting and
No.
Pump all your breast milk out and dump it in the garden.
Jeez, I thought it was...
Dump it in the garden.
I
What
thought
would-
it was rooting and defecating.
Because there might be
Christ.
there might be something in the milk that might affect the baby.
What baby?
Oh, a
Women
lot
who
of
are-
her friends are mothers. This is a housewarming party. Rebecca Judd had a housewarming party
Yes.
at her house, which
Well,
no one was
we've
allowed
got
in
all
the
that, but
house.
what's it got to do with breastfeeding?
Because they're all, a lot of her friends are mothers.
Yes.
So here's a...
They might have been ingesting something that might have affected the breast milk.
Yeah, like analgesics and...
Well, they're not very responsible then, are
Oh, Donald.
Oh, come on. Who doesn't
2019, Don.
drink and...
So they did a survey, Lizzie, you'll love this. This was a survey, our money going to study this, that analysts and scientists worked out that women who have children, that is mothers, have bigger, thicker brains than women who don't have children. A, how would you quantify that? And B, why would you waste money doing a study on that? You think I make this up, Donald? This is off the...
I've read that. I thought they said baby brain was a thing and it was good.
baby brain. Well, they say if you have a child and you're a mother, you're a woman, obviously. I don't think men mind you.
It's on the way.
It's
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
way. I see there's sanitary disposal units in men's toilets now in case those who have transgendered.
What?
Yeah, there is. And men can get their periods.
Now-
No, they can't.
You tell the advocates that men can't get their periods.
They
and
can't
you'll
because
be
they
taken-
don't have ovaries
You'll be taken
Yes,
to
or
court.
a uterus.
You'll be
Men may
taken
want to get a
to
period, but
court
they
for
can't
hate
get a period.
speech.
I don't care. Call me a troll. Call me whatever.
Now,
Men
Lizzie,
cannot get
Lizzie,
periods.
If the Lord Mayor, Sally Cap, said to us that she was in favour of transgender toilets, which just shocked me.
No, I think she said unisex toilets, not transgender toilets.
Well, okay, unisex toilets. That's
Yeah.
right, correct. Are you?
oh my God, no.
No, Mick, I have no problem with women or men using the same toilet. But when you starkly put up a sign that says the one you feel, I just think it is a Pandora's box. A Pandora's box. It's opened for real abuse by those bad actors, those people with.
Righto. I'll give you a hypothetical. You're in the toilet, not bashing that bloke up that you did at the grand final, but just in the toilet to relieve yourself.
Thank you, Mick.
Just talking about bashing up, I've got something else.
And a woman comes in.
Yes.
Are you comfortable with that?
You lock the door, Michael.
No,
But we don't go to a cubicle.
No, I am.
Yeah, but you lock the door.
Mick.
To what?
The urinal.
It's gross. Men's
No, you
toilets
can't
stink.
lock a door to
Can't
a
look at
urinal.
Yeah, you
urinal.
can. You haven't been to a public one, obviously.
You're talking about a stall.
Don, it's a store.
yeah.
What?
It's a sheet of aluminium that you piss on, Don. You can't lock
You
that.
go. Oh,
Seriously.
listen, can we change the subject,
No,
please?
but
No, because
Yes.
Lizzie's a woman, and I'm asking.
Well, I want to ask her, and it relates to you as well.
Okay.
Okay, now I am a bit of a relic with regard to
Correct.
A Luddite.
Yep.
Yes, I watched you the other night. There was a replay on Fox. I was out, and the people had Foxtel,
Moving off
and
the
you came on this open mic, and it was Mark Jackson. Now, hang on, please. Now, I don't know what you've got in the past or whatever. I was embarrassed. I felt I wanted to turn it off in the first 5 minutes, but I thought because I do this podcast, I better watch the whole lot. Have you ever been asked in a forum such as this
Every
about
person on the planet has asked me about the Mark Jackson
it?
interview.
In a forum such as this.
Sam is of the view, and I take Sam's point about this, that commercially it was good for Fox because so many people talked about it.
Well, it was replayed.
Yeah.
Are you happy that they keep replaying it, Mick?
Well,
Oh, so they do replay it quite a bit.
yeah.
Oh, yes,
That was done.
yes.
That was done about 3 years ago. Look, can I ask?
Well, hang on, just going
Are
on-
you happy that they keep replaying it?
No, but once
What?
I do the, I'm about to answer.
Well,
you.
you're stuttering.
Once I do the interview, as you would say with your Channel 9 stuff, it's their property.
That's correct. I didn't ask you that, Mick.
Is
I'm
that
asking,
Am
right?
I happy?
Are you happy? Would you ring them up and say, hey, boys, how about you just cut back?
Not
the-"
really. No, because I think at the end of it, as difficult it was for me to do that show, I think at the end of it, he looked like the cockhead.
But that's
Is that
the
right?
point.
Tony Gill told me that his boys, his children, I don't know whether he's got boys, but his children rang you and apologised. Is that right for
No,
his behaviour?
that's not true. No.
So
What?
Tony's not right.
Tony
have
Gill's
there
boys-
been any other interviews you have done with anyone that were as edgy or?
I'll tell you, I will answer that. But before that, ask Lizzie, as my daughter, how she felt watching the Jackson interview.
Lizzie?
We didn't like it. We didn't.
Well, I told you I was going to turn off in the first 5
No,
minutes.
you've got me staggered, both of you.
Who?
You.
Why?
I'm telling you why. Mark Jackson showed in the end just what sort of person he is. Mick Sheahan sat here and it was entertaining in as much as you say, because Don, you said, have a look at this. This is extraordinary. It's cringeworthy. And it was compelling to see how low or how ridiculous someone could be who'd come onto a forum where you were trying to ask them some questions. It's a bit like when Rex Hunt was here.
Yeah, it's very similar.
It's
And
a similar thing.
Yeah.
We should be, as media performers, delighted that someone would actually come and give us that gravitas.
Well, I didn't like
it was cheap. It was
Of
cheap.
course it was.
And
The point
when-
of it is.
And sitting there saying, I hope you die of
Yes,
cancer.
Yeah,
but Mick, do you honestly take offence at that?
I took more offence at Rex Hunt, actually, because...
Why did you take offence?
Because-
He said you're a liar, or he didn't like you, or you're a dickhead.
And he
or
never
something.
has, because...
Yeah, because
what's-
that's a lie. He's
because-
purported to be your friend
Yes,
for a
he
long
duped
time.
me. Jackson's never been my friend, but Rex purported to be a friend of mine.
So Mick, I'm far be it from me, because you're a very sharp, intelligent man. Why wouldn't you, when Rex Hunt said, say, "Oh, I see, Rex, is this a bit of theatre, is it? You've always embraced me and called me your long-lost friend. What's happened? Which is the real thing? Do you dislike me, or you've been playing me before?"
But I did say to him, don't ring me up anymore and sort of say, you're a dear
Fantastic.
friend of the family.
We're going to get him back on.
No, we're
No.
not. Well, you will if I won't be here.
Well, how weak is that?
No,
No,
because
that's-
I don't
no.
want to subject myself to some bloke tipping a bucket of shit all over me for the public consumption.
But you would just with your wordsmith knowledge and your command of the English language, you'd
I'm
say,
precious.
"My word, I do." You would say to Rex,
You're not wrong.
you would say to Rex, "Are you listening to yourself, Rex? Do you understand what you are doing? What people are?" That's how you'd go
You know
about
what?
it.
You're really good at lecturing people
Yes.
when you're not on the receiving end. And as soon as someone gives you a bucket,
Yeah, what do?
you overreact and blow up like a volcano.
Absolutely, quite right, Mick. As opposed to sitting there passively and copying it.
Was I passive? Was
You
I?
were just.
You are overlooking one very important, serious point in that whole thing.
Which one?
And
Is
you
this,
are
is
doing
this,
that too,
is this
Sam.
Hunt or Jackson?
I was going to say Wayne Hunt, Rex Hunt.
Yeah, what about him?
He clearly exhibited signs of mental instability
Yeah.
on that podcast. So even if
We
Dad,
said that.
Yeah, but even if Dad was quick on his feet and wanted to retort and give it back to him, you had to be so careful. And
No,
you
you didn't.
handled it very well.
You did. You were good that
I
day.
s-
He sounded absolutely fucked in the head.
Anyway, on that note, Michael,
Okay, maybe cut that bit.
Back to your question, Donald.
Yeah,
Yes, the other one I did now, and it is relevant. This and it's instructive. I interviewed Des Tuddenham, and I asked him about some crossing the authorities and maybe
Nefarious acts.
and being in trouble with the police. And I
Yes.
think did he go to jail?
N-
I think he. Anyway, look, whatever it was, and he all but punched me on telly.
really?
Yeah.
When was that?
Oh, a couple of years ago. And he said to me, "You can't ask me that. That's got nothing to do with football." And I said, "Des, when I asked you to come on, I said, would you like to come on?" And you said yes. And I said, "I'll ask you some hard questions," to which he said, "Ask me whatever you like," which I thought meant whatever you like. But
That's what it does, man.
time over again, I probably wouldn't have asked him that.
asked him on the question, asked him on the show.
Yeah, I probably would.
Would you have been doing your job if you didn't ask him that question and you had him on the show?
Well, that's the question. That's the conundrum. Every time I get someone on who's got a story to tell that's got a dark side to it, isn't it?
I've got to say something about. I couldn't believe Jackson. I know Mark. I trained him pre-season before he went to Geelong, and I saw his first sports night. Was all right, and I went to his one down the road. I thought he really worked on it. I thought he was a real pro, and I saw another side and he exhibited another side of his character when he was being interviewed with you. I don't know whether it was theatre with you because I don't know that side of Mark Jackson.
No, I don't think it was theatre, but I think it backfired on him.
Dad, you did not enjoy it.
No, I didn't enjoy it. But I did say
that's what gave him more impetus to do it. He knew you were finding it awkward, so he went in harder. He was trying to self-promote himself
but Sammy-
so that people would talk
Sammy,
about
at the
him.
end of the show, I think he thought he'd gone too far.
Of course he did, because he was trying to gild the lily to... It was a self-promotion vehicle
okay.
for him
Okay.
to go out into the world and
And-
say, look what...
Fox said, I don't think Rod Law was there at the time.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, but Fox said to me, we won't run it. And I said, no, we've got to run it. We can't just have people
Well, that's
on.
weak as piss of Fox then. God almighty.
We can't, and I didn't want him having the bragging rights to sort of saying, oh, if you have a crack at Sheehan, you won't get on the air. I said, we've got to run it. We need to run it in its entirety, and we did.
Tell me what you... all right. Tell me what you think about this, all of you, men and women alike. This climate thing is out of control, and I'll tell you why. that Greta Thunderbone, whatever her
we
name
know
is,
who you're talking
Thunder
about.
Thighs.
Yeah.
She has become
Thunder
a
Thighs.
real pest. She is getting feted by hundreds of thousands of people.
Why?
Because they are onto climate change.
No, but
and
why,
it is
why is she being feted by hundreds of thousands
Because
of
they're
people if
like-
she's an idiot?
I'll tell you why. Because they're lemmings. They are just falling in line with something which is actually dishonest. So much so that we have. Did you see this? That David and Emma Pocock said they're not going to have any kids because they don't want their kids to grow up.
Is that the rugby
Yes,
union
he
bloke?
said they're not going to have children because they don't want them to grow up in a climate which is going to be destructive to their offspring.
Look, it's no good us speaking about this because we are poles apart.
Well,
So
Meg,
there's no middle
I think
ground.
we've got to do something, and it's not with regard to, well, it's not climate change, but we've certainly got to do something. And one thing that's really worrying me, and we're just coming into it, is bushfire season. Now, I don't want to promote it because you get the idiots out there that'll go out and light fires. They're idiots, and I reckon there's got to be a number of things done. One is the burning off. We've got to learn from the Aboriginal people who used to burn off. And so we don't have these wildfires. It's just stupid, and it was done 30, 40, 50 years ago. You'd be burning off around Melbourne the various vacant blocks. Just hang on, Johnny. So I believe that there's got to be something done in regard to that. And the second thing, these people that are lighting fires, they don't receive any publicity. It's like people jumping off the bridge. We don't hear about suicides in the media.
Doesn't stop the suicides.
I know that, but it doesn't promote. If the media got onto it, it'll promote it too. Now, it's a bit like these firebugs lighting the fires. We don't hear much about it, but they are being lit. They've got to bring in sentences that really do deter. And I'd put them away for 20 years.
Well, you don't get 20 years for murder.
I don't care what they're doing. I would make it so it is a deterrent. And I'd set them up and make an example of them because we're reaching catastrophic. In Victoria right now, we've got a lot of undergrowth. We've had a good spring, especially south of, thanks, Johnny.
Catastrophic.
Thank you. Especially south of the divide, and we haven't hit it yet. But February, I think we'll be in real trouble in Victoria.
Let me get back to the climate, which is...
and it's all to do with you and your climate change stuff.
let me
and
get
your negativity towards climate change.
Have a listen to this. Now, this is off the machine. The European Union countries, there's 468 coal-fired power plants. They're building. If you go through the countries, there are thousands and thousands of coal-fired plants, and they're still building them because it's the only sustainable form of power. Now, in Alice Springs last week, there was a power blackout in the whole city, the whole town of Alice Springs, because the solar panels, which run the whole of their industry and the whole of their community, you think I'm making this up? A black cloud came over the area where the solar panels were, and it did not generate enough.
Just sat over the solar panels.
That
did
is
it?
exactly
and stayed there.
That is exactly right, Mick. And it put into darkness. They had a power blackout because the sun wasn't able to get through the clouds to power the solar panels.
You cannot be serious!
Exactly.
So they didn't have any backup batteries.
The backup batteries weren't good enough. This is
Anyways,
another good point, Donald. They say, well, the batteries are sufficient to as a safeguard. They weren't, and this is where we're headed. We're going to have power blackouts. We're going to have power blackouts in
can I ask Lizzie a
Victoria
question?
here.
She's much younger.
And in Gippsland, they still won't fire your
You're
lawn
not
up.
going to change, and I'm not going to change.
Lizzie,
Because it's a lie. It's a fraud.
Please, Lizzie. It was reported that a lot of now, I liken Australia to a bigger Nauru. Do you know Nauru off the
Australia
coast of
and Nauru.
Just listen, I said a bigger one where we've used the superphosphate. There's not much of an island left there now, and I don't know what the Nauruans are going to do in the future. Now, is Australia going down the same way? Because all we can export is stuff out of the ground. We cannot compete any other way. So
In
what is
manufacturing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So do you see a solution to this at all? Should we bring in cheap labour from overseas, or should people
We're
work
doing
for
that.
it? Well, I'm talking about on a bigger scale than what's being happening now, so that we can compete overseas.
You an economist, Lizzie?
I have absolutely no idea.
Oh, well, you're just a pretty face,
No,
Lizzie.
I want to ask
I'm
Lizzie
not
a
sure.
question.
What are you talking? 457 visa people, fruit pickers.
I'd be.
What?
Well, you can bring the people in and a separate community altogether. And
Oh, really? A separate
why,
community?
Why not?
What, and have no water or
So
electricity or anything?
how do we compete internationally when all of our primary industry coming out of the ground's gone?
Well,
I really don't know the answer to
but
that.
I've got a... Can I... Sorry, Don. Can I change it to something that she does know something about or have a view on? And I want the view of all of you, including you on your phone over there,
I'm
John.
just showing you why the power blackout
what-
in Alice Springs
what
was
did
due
we-
to a cloud.
What did we think of Tony Abbott going to visit George Pell in jail?
Doesn't worry me.
Lizzie?
Well, they were friends, and he's a staunch Catholic, so good on him.
Yeah,
Okay,
what's wrong with that?
okay.
If you're a friend,
You
it's
know the- you know
being
there's
a friend
uproar
is
about that.
unconditional.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm
I think good on him if he's going to.
How's his appeal going? Still in the
Well, it's
pipeline,
coming
is it?
out. Yeah.
so I'm Donna. You have the same view. So all
don't-
four of us.
yeah.
If you are a friend, and if there's some doubt about what he did, which a lot of people say there is.
So what are you saying, Michael?
There's been uproar about Abbott.
By
going-
who?
Well, just by sections of the community. Lots of people in the community. Darren Hinch was one. And they just swarmed on Abbott after it was revealed on Channel 7. Brendan Donahue got that story. It is putting your hand up and sort of saying, this man is a friend of mine and I still believe in him. Isn't that
No.
what he's saying?
No.
He's
You
not
don't
saying that.
believe in him. A
that's
friendship may
absolute
be
nonsense,
unconditional too, Mick.
It's nonsense, isn't
That
it?
is nonsense. If you had been accused of murder and were in jail,
Yeah.
and it was proven that you'd done it, I'd come and see
If
you.
I were a pedophile, would you come and see me?
I would come and see you if you're a friend of mine.
If I were a pedophile.
And that's exactly what Tony Abbott did, and good on him.
Yeah,
If
okay.
you're a friend, I think I
If you're
would
a
too.
pedophile, I'd come and see you because you're a friend of mine.
Okay. Brother, okay. Well, now...
But you are different, John.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's dispose of... Now,
so,
what
so
about...
you would be a conditional friend.
I didn't say that. I asked the question.
Well, if I was a pedophile...
Yeah, he would. He would.
If I was a pedophile,
Would I come and see you?
Yeah.
Only after dark.
What?
yeah, I'm not sure I could... I
No.
don't know why pedophilia is
No, because I wouldn't be seen coming in. That was it.
tied to any particular time of the
No,
day.
What about Israel?
What about him?
What about... Did anyone win out of that? Israel Folau and the...
Well,
NRA?
I think
He did. He got
Well,
some money.
what?
He did.
Did he get
He
some
got-
money, did he?
Yeah, he got
He
his
got
confidential
plenty.
sentiment.
Got
Yeah,
four.
well,
he
could have been
got
$1.
No, he got
Well,
I
how-
don't think he'd settle for $1 when
Could
he
have
was
got
going
millions.
for
He got millions,
Yes.
did he? How many millions?
I thought he got 3 or 4, but maybe
You thought.
that's
Have you
apocryphal.
did you just make that up?
But who
No,
knows? He
I
won.
heard that someone who knew or thought they knew said it was between $3 and $4 million. He mightn't have got a cent, but
He
that
wanted
was
14.
that was the considered opinion.
So who won? Who won the stoush?
Israel Folau.
Well,
Why?
Because Rugby Australia settled with him.
yes, and
But he still hasn't won, has he?
You know, 'cause
He's not playing his sport.
Does he want to?
yeah, he got knocked back, I think, from a contract in South Africa, didn't
Yeah,
he?
there was an overseas contract, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so who did you think? John, what did you think of the outcome of that?
Well, it got down to whether you're allowed to have free speech or have an opinion.
So who won?
Well, he probably won, didn't he?
No, that's in Europe.
But he's not playing, though.
He won because he took his case to the.
He apologised, though, for offending anyone.
Did
but
he?
that was part. They apologised to him.
Yeah, so
and it was a.
what a nonsense it is,
It
isn't it?
was an arranged. It was an arranged settlement
Marriage,
where
yeah.
he apologised and they apologised, and he got a settlement.
But that's how the world's going, Michael.
Okay, what
nowadays.
about Donald? What about the Silvani leaving? What's his name?
That's interesting. I'd like to really know. There must be something
Stephen
more behind.
Silvani leaving.
There must be a lot more behind that we haven't known.
Well, he
or
fell out-
Stephen has done something that's been untoward.
He
at
fell out
Carlton.
with the CEO.
Over what?
Well, I think the view at Carlton was that he had too much influence. Stephen did.
In what way? In what area?
Well, in the area of running the footy club when he was in fact the list manager. And I think it was brought to a head when...
Now, hang on. That encompasses what? Running the football club.
Well,
that means he's doing the CEO's job,
Well, not
the marketing job.
Not running them. I mean, having an undue influence, I suspect.
In what way?
Well, because he's a he was or is a very good friend of the President Mark Lagudishe.
Yes.
No, I just think the view was that he had too much influence. And then the CEO, Kane Liddell, wanted to get Braden Ellis from Richmond, and apparently that was...
Why would the CEO be doing that?
Because he had been at Richmond.
Who? The CEO?
Liddell had worked at the Richmond Footy Club, yeah. But that might have just brought it to a head.
So what are you saying, Michael?
What?
That's good. It was I've just mentioned 8 people I've never heard of. The level of interest of whether Stephen Silvani has got a gig at Carlton is about as much as
That's
sticking
rubbish.
needles in your eyes.
And climate change.
You don't reckon, and climate change. Good call.
Well,
Lizzie.
no, climate change.
You don't reckon people care
I do.
about Stephen Silvani
I do.
and the Silvani name linked with
I
Carlton?
do. I do reckon people care.
Yeah?
I don't.
Well, you don't care about anything.
I do. I care about climate change.
And Donald
And DT.
Grump.
Have you got a solution? Just on going back to
Yeah.
you.
No,
I
don't.
haven't. No.
Yeah,
I
go
just
on.
want to hear a solution
Yeah.
from you.
Yep.
Right. Give us it.
Nuclear.
Oh, that's right. A big hole in the middle of Australia, isn't it? We put the waste, yeah?
And Mick, please, don't do yourself a disservice by pretending you're an idiot.
What about that volcano stuff yesterday?
The volcano stuff. Do you know the volcano stuff and bushfires put more CO2 into the atmosphere than any human on the face of the earth on a yearly basis? Do you know that?
No, I
Cars,
didn't know
industry. The stuff that goes in from volcanoes, there's about 150 active volcanoes around the world, and bushfires in every country in the world put more CO2 into the atmosphere than
And
the
they've
whole
been
of
going on since
mankind.
the inception of the world too. So
of
it
course.
hasn't had a marked
So let's
effect.
let's not worry about anything then. Will
Do
we?
you think there
No,
should have
he
been
asked
tourism
me-
on
asked-
that volcano?
Do I think what?
There should have been tourism
Well, they
on that volcano.
Well, in hindsight, they said it was imminent that it might have exploded, but God Almighty, how do you know?
Didn't
when?
that happen in Bali too, or Indonesia?
no, it's less than 24 hours since, and there are still 25 people unaccounted
Because
for.
they can't go onto the island because they think it's going to erupt again.
Is that are they Australians?
Well, they think
Doesn't
some of
matter
them are
what they are.
from the ovation
No,
of
good
the
point,
sea,
Don.
the big cruise ship, or the ovation of the ocean.
But it's closer to home. There's like, I was reading the names.
Yeah, but
in
we're
the
on a
paper.
fault line. We're part of Victoria and Australia as part
Give
of
us
that
this.
fault line too.
Give us your opinion on this,
What?
Lizzie.
Yeah.
You heard of Rosalind Dillon.
Yes.
She's the daughter of the ex-Prime Minister
Oh, yeah.
Bob Hawke, and she's accused Bill
Oh,
Landahue of raping her several times, 3 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Bob said, just turned a blind eye to it, told her,
'cause I wanna
don't
be
worry
Prime
about
Minister."
it. What do you make of that?
As someone said, there is no way if that happened that Hazel Hawke would have gone along with that. Now, I don't know Hazel Hawke, I don't know Bob Hawke, I don't know the other man. They're all dead. But back in
What
the
a
day when he
disgrace.
was...
No, but I
Full
think what Lizzie's saying is that a
outreach.
mother wouldn't have accepted that without.
No, you reckon Bob would?
Well, we don't know, but
Of course we don't know. What an
but back in those days,
this
yes,
is an
everything was covered up.
outreach. Well, do you reckon Bob... An
No, I don't
outreach
believe
by Rosalind Dillon to get $4 million from her father's estate, which she was left nothing of. This
No, she
is-
got $750,000.
They both did, both the
Yeah,
daughters.
Both the
all the
daughters got
children, yeah.
$750,000.
Well, she's after a little more.
No, but that's not nothing.
I'm not sure that she would go to those lengths to make a claim on her father's estate. And why? Do you know what?
She is going to those lengths.
No, but to falsely accuse someone of rape to get more money. I tell you what, if it was my dad's estate and it was going to a woman that was not my mother,
Yes. So you'd make up something like that, would you?
nah, but I'd fight it tooth and nail.
Well, how do we know she hasn't made that up?
Well, how do you know she has?
Well, that's the point of it. It just seems like a convenient 40 years ago to say, wow, I think I might have a crack at
I
this.
think this was the daughter that was also the heroin addict.
Yes, it was. Absolutely
but
was.
that
I
doesn't-
think we just sit on the fence.
But Andrew,
I think it's
your-
very sad.
Your mate Andrew Bolt.
Andrew Bolt.
Sort-
He's not a mate of yours?
I'm okay.
He's a
with
star.
Well, you
Oh,
apologise.
what, you're going
I
to
did.
turn on him again, are you?
Just talking about.
it. Hey, you too.
He's
and
a
just
star
to
because
talk-
he gives a counterpoint of view to the people you
Yeah,
watch.
I hadn't said anything.
They're
I
a
said,
disgrace Q&A.
I said-
The ABC has turned themselves into
How would you know?
the
It sounds like the
thinking man's
ABC.
Easter bunny.
you never watched the ABC.
Just talking about.
I don't read the
I'll
papers,
tell
but
you what
I'm
it is.
well versed
No, no.
about what's
I'll
going
tell
on
you
in
what
the
shits
community.
me in this community, right?
What in your
What?
shit you?
Yeah.
Okay.
When people like him over there,
John.
Yeah. You know when they say, the Herald Sun's a rag, right?
No, I know what you're going to say. This
And
is-
go on, Johnny.
I say, is it? And they said it when I worked there. Herald Sun's a rag. Never read it. I said, when's the last time you read it? 10, 12 years ago. I said, well, how do you know it's a rag if you don't read it? That's like you saying,
No, it's
why you
not.
say Q&A is
It's
no
not
good?
at all.
If
It's
you don't
not-
watch Q&A, you can't have an informed view about it.
Of course I can, Mick.
How?
I make a point of not watching the ABC or Q&A because it is so jaundicely biased. And you'll say, how do I know? Because commentary comes out from people who critique it.
Oh, I see.
That's-
so
so
you
that's
don't
how
have
I-
your own opinion. You've got someone else's opinion.
I read the opinion of others and what is
Oh,
said and
right.
what's quoted about
Right.
what they speak about,
Yeah.
and then I form an opinion about it,
Do
and
you know-
I'm spot on.
Do you know, because you don't watch it, I'll explain
Yes.
a couple of things to you. You know, every Monday night on Q&A, they put down the bottom of the screen the makeup of the audience. And it's generally within 3 or 4...
Audience. What about the panel?
Well, the panel... Well, they had...
What about the panel?
They had Albanese on last night and Turnbull on, right?
They have...
That's who they had on. They were the two political figures. Is that not balanced?
no, not really.
Oh, it's not really.
Well, all depends
You have
what
a
you're going to
liberal,
speak
you have a
to them
liberal
about.
prime minister and you have a leader of the ALP.
But the topics they choose in their agendas are always weighted into some argument that can be
How do you
easily...
know?
Because I've just told you how
No,
I
but
know.
I don't accept that.
Well, because you read the critiques of what people
You
say
don't
about
read
them
the
and what
papers.
I said.
You don't read the papers.
I said you read the critiques on this little
On
thing
Twitter.
here. That's not on Twitter.
Oh, where?
On
where?
on Googling it
Google.
about things that happen. About I know what Bolt says about it. Because I read about what Bolt says that they said on it, and they have snippets on his show and other people's shows about what they discuss. It's like that clown that came out from England on climate and said we should trap all the sunshine and send it to China in a underground pipeline.
Listen, I'd like to ask
Fair
Michael,
dinkum.
have you got a problem, Michael? Because just getting back, and I wasn't quick enough, but you've brought it up about Bolt. You said Bolt asked you for an apology, which you apologised. You did something on Twitter. And you said you can't remember doing it.
Yeah.
Have you got a problem?
What with my memory?
Well, I don't know, memory,
What
or
is that?
it could
What-
be anything. I'm
What,
asking you.
like I might have tinea.
Well, I don't know.
No, Don, we covered that. He said he couldn't
We-
remember saying it about it. He must
He
have
tweeted it. What'd you do?
tweeted it, a
Tweet it.
specific thing to our friend Patrick
Andrew?
Smith, who?
Oh, no, it was Martin Flanagan.
Martin Flanagan.
posted
and
something.
He said, so, and you said, yes, he's
Yeah.
Audrey on every department.
But you said you didn't remember doing it.
Well, I didn't.
Well, so have you got a problem?
Jesus. Got a problem with you
Uh,
and you.
Now,
You're not.
Lucky we're breaking for Christmas.
Can I say this?
No, we're going
The
through.
person sitting next to me here.
Jacinda Clayton.
That's it. And our husband, did you see? He's got a new
Yeah,
gig at North
Melbourne.
Melbourne. The overall manager and comptroller of accounts down
Isn't
there.
it funny? I said to Jacinda Clayton the other day, I said, Scotty's going to North Melbourne. She says, I don't know anything about that.
No, well, she.
I said, it was in the paper this morning. Oh, well, okay then. Yes, he is going and it's great for him.
Well, that's right. She was being. She was.
So what is he doing at North Melbourne? Jacinda?
He's running the recruiting department, the whole office. The umbrella is under him, or he's over the.
He's a football manager?
Yes, all that.
No.
John, I brought Jacinda up because we have been. This is a segue, Donald. You'll love this. Jacinda and I have been to the most southern city in the world.
Antarctica.
Ushuaia. I think that's how you say it, Ushuaia. And it's the first stepping stone. And the reason I bring it up is that a man that we know well went across the Drake Passage, which is on the way to the continent of Antarctica, one of the 8 continents in the world, or 7. and he's
7.
been down there deep sea diving and fishing and bringing back
Bill.
to North Concourse,
Billy.
the lobster cave. He's been bringing back black cod, which is a delicacy, and Bill has suffered frostbite, and he has suffered a debilitating
Is he on drugs?
a debilitating disease where, luckily, because he's got an appendage missing, it hasn't been able to get into.
Appendage?
He's got one of his legs missing, and it
I
hasn't
thought there
been
was an arm.
able, hasn't been able to get frostbite in his toes because he hasn't got a leg with toes on it. And he has come back with a big sack full of
Black
cod.
I can't wait to go.
And he's bought it back, and it's now sitting in his cellars, in his refrigerated
In his cellars?
compartment.
What, with his
at
Grange?
the North Concourse. So if you want some black cod, Bill's got black cods.
Is there a fish called?
He was he was pulling a life buoy out of the. He was pulling a marker out of the bay, and it hit him in the cods. He's got black cods, and he's got bugs, and he's got crabs. He's got the lot. So if you go down,
Right, okay, we're going.
and take Sally Cap down, Don.
Now,
Can I come? Can we do that as this Christmas party?
Fantastic.
Because you know what? I'm the most appeared guest on this.
Yeah,
debacle.
of course.
Read it. This is what happens to me on Twitter.
What's
Lizzie,
that? What's the?
This is last night. I got angry about something and I tweeted.
No, Dad, you're mental. Your tweets are mental. Fuck those people. I
Oh.
hope they are hacked to death. Your next tweet. How fucking primitive is this world? More precisely than
But who's he
Neanderthals.
talking to, Lizzie?
He's an animal. Like the animal rescue people, the trophy hunters, and Ricky
Why
Gervais.
why do you even do this stuff?
Well,
Isn't she such a brave girl? Wonder if she hunts men the same way.
Oh, what?
because what that means,
Who-
Sam, what that means is there was a woman there.
You've got a problem.
with a
He's
a
got a
rifle,
big
right?
problem.
She's
Is he
been
on
killing
drink? Does he
animals.
drink or is he on drugs?
Go on.
And I said,
Lizzie,
Sorry.
is he drinking
I'm
or
listening to
drugs?
you. Let
No,
them chat.
Smoking.
Go ahead.
Favour deserves a full-blooded drive to the back of his head.
that was that Brent Favre or whatever, the golfer.
Favre, yep.
You know, they go and kill giraffes and lions and stuff like that. I'd rather them kill people than do that.
Yes, good point, Mick.
You'd rather
Anyone
what?
in
Kill
this room
people
I'd
than
rather them kill people and do what they do to
Keep
the
fighting
animals.
the fight, you guys. Smack him out of the park.
Right, okay, that'll do.
No. This is interesting. You've got to.
He's crazy.
He is. He
He's
is.
mental.
He
so-
is. He's got a problem.
And then he just writes a tweet last week. Thanks.
Well, what do you? All right. Well, tell me what you think about this, Lizzie. A Aboriginal policeman up in the Northern Territory is filmed getting out of a car and stoning to death a wombat as
Yeah,
it
I
crossed
saw
the
that.
road, and they said it is quite all right for Aboriginals to stone native animals because that's how they live, but other people in society, it is a crime and you cannot do it. Why would you accept in this day and age that an Aboriginal policeman can go and stone to death a wombat
agreed.
because he doesn't need it for food? He could go down to McDonald's or he could go to Wendy's and buy a hamburger. He doesn't need it, but he got off because they said it is the law that Aboriginal people, Indigenous people, can, to sustain themselves, kill native animals. Now, seriously, do you think those people could join the new century that we live in?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I agree.
I agree. We're all agreed
Well,
on that.
good on you. I thought you were going to...
The Aboriginals did get dispensation about fishing up on the
you can
Queensland coast too, don't they? Whites aren't allowed to do certain things, but
that
they
right?
are as far as fishing goes.
Why do you need to stone to death an animal?
Yeah,
Hey, what about back into the sporting realm, which we know a modicum about? What about Russia being banned from the
yeah, but there's political correctness again because their athletes are allowed to
political
compete.
correctness? Like,
Well, yeah, they wouldn't go the
Neutral.
whole way.
A neutral country, Donald.
No, they wouldn't go the whole way and ban. I'd ban the athletes because how do you know what the athletes are going to do anyway? They could be doing
So
it
they
themselves.
come
They
from
should.
neutral countries to compete. That's what they say. That's how they get.
I
around it.
understand what they're going to do and all the rest. I would not allow an athlete to compete from Russia.
Speaking of of
Michael,
Olympic
we haven't
events,
got a comment.
no, Don.
I agree.
I think I'm with you, but
You
but it is-
think?
but it is the penalty is removing the national pride, like taking the flag out of the
No,
contest?
it's not.
Lizzie,
Well, it is.
wait till we get some flack for this. This is an Olympic sport which I watched a documentary on, a cameo piece on ESPN the day before yesterday. It was on women's beach volleyball. And it is nothing more than an excuse for soft porn sport to get a...
He's right.
The women playing it had not bikini bottoms, they had... Honestly, they look like pieces of dental floss covering their bits and pieces. They are long-legged, really good-looking women, and they play. It is a sexually orientated try-on for people to give a legitimate sport some credence. It was a joke. And there's people there with their gold medals holding them up. If you are a woman beach volleyballer, good on you. But seriously, I've never seen anyone who couldn't look great in a bikini doing it.
No, but
And
don't deny
also,
the fact that they've got athletic talent.
oh, but what, to punch a ball over the net? Fair enough, they
No,
might.
no, there is athletic talent,
Oh,
but
there is.
I do agree with him. They could be wearing shorts, as the men
Christ,
do.
Which
you
takes
want-
us back to your argument about
Yes. Grid girls,
grid girls
guard
and
girls.
boxing girls, yeah.
And this will get some blowback for this, saying you're sexist. They look fantastic. The crowds were falling off the stadiums. Honestly, you couldn't get a ticket to watch them. The men were there just ogling at these women playing beach volleyball. It was obviously exploitive disgrace. It was.
Do you
It was fantastic, to be
Do you
honest.
agree with that?
I don't think the Australian players look like that.
Oh,
Well,
They must have
gee.
selectively edited them out, because every team that I watched, they were looked like Victoria's Secret models. And honestly, there was so little to the imagination, and they played up beautifully.
Did you
to
watch the whole
crowd.
game?
I replayed it. In fact, then when I'd finished it, I ate the cassette. So I tell you what we're going to do before the year's out. I'm giving you some notice.
okay.
The year will be out shortly.
This is why I'm giving you some notice, Donald.
Can I just give you something else?
Come over the top.
I will. I drove to Geelong last week. Can you boys tell me, on the right-hand side, going down to Geelong, on the right-hand side in a paddock there, it looks like a huge dump, waste dump.
Yes.
Is that right? Is it a waste dump?
Do you know what it is?
No. That's why I'm asking.
It's earth from the tunnel that they're digging out.
Is it?
Are you serious?
No, I'm not. But it is.
Is what?
The tunnel that they're excavating, all the dirt, they got to take it somewhere, and they take it down there and dump it there. It's just dirt. It's not toxic. But that's where the dirt goes. If you're going to dig under the city with...
There's a hell of a lot of dirt, and they haven't started the tunnel yet.
Yeah, they
Yes,
have.
they have.
You're not
Stopped
serious.
Yes, they
The
have.
tunnel's
How
been...
far are they through?
Well, it's stopped. There's a dispute.
There's only one change with the tunnel thing. It's going to be 20 years later than they said.
Don.
It's cost 400 billion more.
From the day they said they were going to build it, they've got those big mole things underneath the city at the minute, digging out a tunnel, mate. Do you think they're not going to start for a while? How long do you think they do? About 20 metres a day.
It's Melbourne Metro.
Now, Melbourne.
Oh,
Metro.
no.
So we're coming. Listen up, boys
Listen
and
up.
girls. I'm giving you some notice.
Yes.
Yeah, this is. I'd like to claim this as my idea, but it wasn't. I can't mention whose name it was. Rod Law. Now, the decade of the 2010 to the 20s is coming to an end. I'm putting you on notice. I'm going to ask you to give us your highlights of the decades 10, 11, 12, up to 20. Don't have to give any more than one or two. The things that you remember, you can look it up if you like. That
I don't remember anything, Don.
Well, you look it up, Mick. You go.
Or like you do and just get someone else's opinion.
That's correct.
Okay.
Terribly subjective, isn't it?
Suggestive.
Okay, what do you think?
Subjective.
Let's have a trial run. Have a trial run. It's 2019. Off the top of your head, what is the most significant thing that you can remember that's happened this year? Sport-wise, calamity-wise, anything. You can't think of something.
Well, I'm glad to
What's
be
yours?
here. That's the most important thing.
See
You're
that?
what?
I am just glad to be here.
Well, that shouldn't enthrall people when we go for our
What's
highlight
yours?
of this.
Just
Well,
as a
what-
matter of interest, what's yours? Oh,
No,
you
he's got a
can't think
thing.
of anything, can you?
Okay.
No, but that's how it goes.
No, you berated me for not being able to think of anything.
Well, when it gets to the year 2016, you know, from 10 to 16, the greatest thing that happened on the 11th,
the 11th.
11/9/11/16, was Donald Trump getting elected as president.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you.
No, he's fantastic.
You are officially demented, I
I
reckon.
tell you
No,
what,
he's
I've
not
had
demented. He's got a problem.
I've had a gutful of people knocking Donald Trump. He is fantastic, that man. And the more they malign him, and the
What's
more
he
they
suffer from,
traduce him,
Jacinta? It's what's
he is proving he is
He's
probably
got
going to be the greatest
spectrum.
politician that's ever
he's
been.
Asperger's. It's
fantastic.
Asperger's, Michael.
With Sammy.
Yes,
Yeah.
Asperger's. He's right on the spectrum.
I tell you what, you back the other mob and you see how
No,
well you
you've
go.
got a
You'll back a
problem.
loser. They are a disgrace, those people. They are inbred. They
Well,
are
look,
incestuous.
I'm sorry to be out of step with 6 billion people who all think he's a moron.
But do you know why they think he's a moron? Because NATO, this thing that they had
What
going
actually-
on in London with NATO,
Jack, shoot
he
me, will you
told
please?
Trudeau he was a two-faced dick. He told because they try and they have no idea they're kids. He is actually putting them in line, asking them to pay up.
Donald?
I think a couple of little traits wouldn't go bad in Australian politics, but
He's
I
fantastic.
wish our politicians just had one or two little traits that he does
I
possess.
wish there weren't any politicians anywhere in the world.
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's about
Come
it.
on, I'm looking forward to interviewing you two
When?
now.
Oh my god!
No, it's just part
I gotta
3,
go out
surely.
For a smoke.
This is part you can't.
So
do it
hang
now.
on.
We've got another bit to go.
Well, we're
Jesus.
just
What else do we?
Can we
what
take
we
a
do
break?
is close the music off, Mick, and then we start again.
Lizzie
It's
wants
not
a
that-
cigarette.
Oh, Lizzie, give them away, please.
What's a cigarette?
Yeah.
Okay, this is this is the end of part 2.